Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Politomato. And every time I think that the Dems have hit a new low, they go on to set an even lower personal best. In this video, watch Will Cain go absolutely beast mode and verbally castrate Dem Congressperson Maxwell Frost, exposing him to be nothing but a liar and a hypocrite. And yes, I did call him Congressperson. He doesn't act like a man, so why should I call him one? And you're going to want to wait to watch till the end of the video, because that's when Will Cain delivers the crushing blow.
Last June, you wrote, the United States Constitution is crystal clear. Everyone in this country is entitled to due process. You, at that time, were talking about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. And that is what you and I had a debate about, due process. But you have also, Congressman, called the ICE officer involved in this incident a murderer. You have said it is murder. Now, there has been no completed investigation. There's been very little evidence offered up besides a viral video. And I'm curious if that condemnation of yours, with so little evidence, so quickly, without an investigation, is how you are telling the rest of us how to define due process.
What I'm saying is the fact that I saw the video with my own eyes of that man looking the woman in the face and shooting her in the face as her car then sped away uncontrollably.
Congressman, you used a very specific legal term. To use the term murder, murder has a definition. Murder has a definition, and you use that. It's a criminal definition.
That's the term I'm using. I'm not. What I am saying is, yes, that officer is entitled to due process. Yes, there should be a process. But two things. Number one, Renee Nicole Good was not given due process. That ICE agent was jury and executioner in that moment for that woman. But number two, and this is very, very important, within minutes, do you know who the first person to come out and label someone in this was? It was this administration. When Kristi Noem, when Stephen Miller came out and labeled Renee Nicole Good
to say, but let's just suggest
and that
for
is,
a moment.
Wait,
we all understand your point that they called her a domestic terrorist, but you have met tit for tat. You have simply done the exact same thing that you are condemning Noem for doing. You are calling an officer a murderer.
It is not about tit for tat, because here's the thing. It is DHS themselves that are saying they're the ones that are going to do the investigation. They're the ones that are going to look into it and do due process and look and see if it's justified killing of Renee Nicole Good. Then you have the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, the person who's supposed to be on top of this investigation.
With all due respect, I'm not going to allow you to filibuster. We have a limited amount of time together. The question is whether or not you believe in due process. You have gotten your point out that you believe it was wrong for the administration to define her as a domestic terrorist. But you're here today talking to me about due process, and I'm concerned about your fidelity or understanding of due process when you deem an innocent man, innocent until proven guilty is part of the United States Constitution, when you deem an innocent man a murderer, and you were an elected official. Let's focus on you. You are an elected official with very little evidence. All you have is a viral video. And you condemned the man, who, by the way, I think you are liable. I think I would be careful if I were you, Congressman, for defamation. You, Steve Kerr, Doc Rivers, anyone else, I think you should be careful because you have crossed over the line of defamation. But for our purposes here today,
I am not going to be careful in terms of calling out.
I think you have no fidelity to due process.
Oh, yes, I do. And the fact of the matter is, and I'll say it again and again and again and again, Renee Nicole Good did not get the due process that she deserves. I will say that the officer deserves due process. I am also going to call out what I saw in the video, and I'm 100% in my right to do so. But the issue is that when you have the person in charge of the investigation that's supposed to get us the truth to this, coming out minutes after we learned about this, calling her a domestic terrorist, not even a shred.
I know, but you're shifting. We're talking about you and your language, and you're shifting it away to someone else and what they had to say.
From this
and it's not a very good defense
come out
tactic.
And say, I want to finish my point. Not even a shred of humanity from this administration come out and say, we're going to look at what
something you think is wrong with by doing the exact same thing. Before you go, Congressman, I'm up against this title. I know, and it's sad. It's a tragedy, and on that we agree. I just want to ask you a human question.
And I'm glad you're saying that, Will. But the administration wouldn't even say that minutes after it happened.
Be a human for one moment. You're not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. We're humans. I want you to watch this video, okay? I want you to see video. We've all seen the Renee Good video. Look at the video of what's happening with ICE officers. Watch people blocking their vehicles. Watch them in Portland. Watch them in Minnesota. You can see it. I hope we can put it up on screen. It's happening everywhere.
I've seen all the videos.
Okay.
I've seen all the videos. And here's the thing, Will.
By the way, Congressman, I haven't yet asked you the question. We can do this together. We can be human. You've also seen officers being rammed. Yes? You've seen that. I mean, as recently, you have people like Officer Amy Caprio was killed being rammed by a car. My question to you, Congressman, hold on, Congressman, hold on. Congressman, we can do this. My question to you is, would you tell your sister to go behave in the way that protesters, even Renee Good, did in Minnesota? Would you tell them to block officers with their car? Would you tell them to drive towards officers? Would you tell them in good conscience, you'll be safe, go act like this, this is smart, this is wise? Would you tell that to your sister?
I am against any kind of violence on officers and on anyone. Number one, I can say that very easily. Number two, what I can also say very easily is this administration is putting ICE in very specific cities, in a lot of mainly Democratic cities, and they are inviting this chaos. That is why, and you can see all the videos, they don't go out there alone. They go out there with a film crew, in many cases, to get all this on film, to post these propaganda videos on.
So there you have it, folks. Another Democrat hypocrite liar gets an absolute shellacking and leaves the exchange with his tail between his legs. So as we see time and time again, when it fits their narrative, they're real quick to demand due process. But when it doesn't fit their narrative, they're real quick to call someone a murderer with no due process whatsoever. And I really hope we do see some lawsuits over this, because I would love to see Don Lemon behind bars. But everyone, that's going to be a wrap for this video. I really hope you enjoyed this brutal Dem takedown. If you did, please like, subscribe, and comment. I would really love to hear what you guys think. I thank you all very much for your time. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and wherever you are, keep smiling.